That guy, first of all, he's a fucking killer bass player. Second, he's the only one who kept going with music after the end, and he's a fucking country star.
Yeah.
Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex. My name is Michael Mansour, and I'm joined as always by my In the Holiday Spirit co-host Alexander Volts. Say hello.
Hello.
This is Every Album Ever, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, one artist at a time. It's a whole new discography per episode, and today we'll be discussing every album by
The Smalls.
The Smalls, requested on Patreon by our boy Mitchell. He's been waiting a long time for this one.
Merry Christmas. I think it's after Christmas.
No, it's right before.
Oh, perfect.
It's right. Yeah. It actually does line up. I have no idea. I'm glad I have the date in front of me. Hello. Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Mitchell.
Hell yeah. The Smalls. I'm assuming you have no idea. You had no idea who they were.
Zero knowledge.
Zero as well. No clue. No idea.
I was like, is this a 60s band like The Doors or something?
Oh, I definitely knew they weren't that.
Are they like the Toadies or something like that? When I saw the era they were from, and yeah, nice pun intended little band.
So is that safe to say you enjoyed your time?
Yeah.
There's more to that. That had all kinds of shit inside. I heard that.
It was an uneven ride, for sure.
Uneven ride. This is a really weird band. So, man, I had no idea what to expect. And by the end of it, oh my, just so strange, so unusual. I did enjoy it a lot, though.
Yeah.
I enjoyed half of it quite a bit.
There we go.
Yeah. It feels so weird just jumping right into it. I feel like I'm missing something. Am I missing something?
I think we've just done a lot of beefy bands with a lot of lore. And
that's right.
Unless you live in West Canada, which I'm sure we got to have at least one listener.
Yeah. I'm maybe even Mitchell. I know he's from Canada. I know that.
So yeah, someone in Edmonton or those areas. What little information there is about them, growing up in these rural parts of Edmonton.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because obviously what they could listen to was very limited.
Super limited. Which is also a thing that...
from Alberta, and then they would meet in college in Edmonton.
Okay.
Sorry, Canadians.
Man, like... That's the thing that the world will never know again. The limitations of music.
Yeah.
Like we've said in the past how spoiled we are now for sure, but it wasn't that long ago where if you didn't have, $20 on you, you didn't listen to new music.
Mm-hmm.
Or in their case, literally you couldn't even find it. They had one record store and it's fucking barren. So you're
just stuck with what's on the radio or what someone haphazardly has in the record collection.
It's depressing. It's super depressing. But what came out is just so bizarre. And it's not like they're this weird, crazy, noisy, birthday party insane band. But it's just they took things that we're very familiar with and just threw them in a stew. And it's like that's a weird hybrid of a bunch of things that I recognize.
Very regionalized stew here, where it's like, yeah, I recognize these elements, but you guys, you made it your own.
Yeah. So like we said, there's really not a lot of info. There's not a very, famous band. Obviously,
I was surprised how much information was on their Wikipedia page. So
our boy Tom Osman, he even noted that like whoever wrote their wiki entry made quite an effort. Like it's like clearly one super fan did the whole thing.
It does sound like the fans of this band are fans
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Unique band, interesting band.
But also love that they only have 4 members. This nice, easy
4 members, beginning to end. They and that is like ultimately how they ended up breaking up is because they didn't want to sacrifice the switching out any member.
Yeah,
which is a beautiful and sad thing. Yeah, so pure. We'll get into that more later, but. Yeah, Tom Osman, a history guy, he compiled a couple things for us. An interview with drummer Terry Johnson from 2014, and an article from 1995 from Georgia Strait, I believe. And I'm not familiar with Georgia Strait, but
neither am I.
either way, it has stuff.
The fact that there's an article from 1995 about this band floating around on the internet is
wild. But it also
insane,
that was like their peak. That was when they had the most attention.
Mhm.
They only have 4 albums, but 3 out of the 4 are self-released, which is like holy shit. Like they barely, not even barely. Like it's like it seems like they barely qualify as a band even worth covering, except for the fact that they have like a pretty rabid cult following.
Yes.
Which is also confusing that they only had 1 signed record. And like nothing makes any sense. It's
like nobody tried. Well, maybe somebody tried to capitalize on it, but not to the extent where people were trying to capitalize on like new grunge bands or something like that.
Yeah, and I imagine that's a lot to do with them being in the middle of an icy nowhere in Canada, and not relocating and stuff. But still, managing to put out 4 albums over the course of 9 years, so that it wasn't like they were. It seems like there was a lot of things that happened that we just will never know.
Yeah, and I feel like they kind of seems like they were able to secure some gigs on like big festivals. So.
I'm we'll have to like refresh your memory as we talk about it, because I've already forgotten a lot. But so according to Terry Johnson, they all grew up in, like you said, rural parts of Alberta. This band is a weird hype. I mean, to try and explain what they are, it feels dirty because like it doesn't really sound like any genre you're going to name.
I'm amazed they did not cite the Misfits and Danzig.
Oh, there is so much Danzig sounding vocals.
Yes.
Vocals are a thing we are going to talk about with this band. My God. But they're basically like thrash and a little bit of punk with this really weird prominent country influence
that comes out later on. But even earlier, there's like, if you pick apart the vocals, you could hear that, that's where some twang.
Yeah, a lot of twang. And it's a bizarre combination that it fits, but you notice it. It's not like it fits and it feels perfect. It just fits like, it doesn't sound bad. It's just, that's odd. So Terry said, we all grew up on the old school metal, but our parents were listening to old school country. So eventually that's seeped in to Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson. And then what is it? They all took bits of jazz in school, and that comes out too. And I don't even know what to say, dude. This is a fucking weird band. We just have to hear it before I'm going to butcher it anytime I try to explain what they sound like. It's unusual, but it's fun.
It's weird. Yeah. It's like you said, it's not mind blowing. It's simple, but it's unique.
This is another interesting, and we were talking about how they got shunned for most of the career. Terry said, we didn't have an agenda to make it sound like this or that. It was just whatever we liked. It probably damaged our chances of getting a record deal back in the day because we couldn't be pigeonholed into one kind of music. It's good and bad. It's out there stuff, but it's all coming from something. That actually makes sense in the case of this band.
Because they don't sound, outside of the Danzig vocals, like they don't really sound like any band in the 90s.
Yeah, and you could, because like the closest you can get is like, they sound really thrash.
Yeah.
But you pick any thrash band, they don't sound like this.
No.
It's just,
no, they don't sing like that. There's more like, there is double bass pedal in this, but it's not the way a thrash band uses it.
No. And then so everything about them, it seems like every genre you throw into them, they're like on the margins of that genre, or they're in between that genre. Like, yeah, kinda, but they still wouldn't fit in. They're always not going to fit in wherever you put them, which is fun, but also I could see why fucking fucked them.
They would have been a good pick on Greg Ginn's label. This because
SST.
This because there's so many like weirdos on there.
Yeah, you got St. Vitus, Black Flag, Saccharine Trust. You get like
Minutemen. Yeah,
they probably. Yeah, I mean, it was a little later. It was a lot later, but
sure,
who knows? So same core members from beginning to end. You got Mike Caldwell on vocals, Corb Lund on bass, Doug Bevins on guitar, and Terry Johnson drums. Corb Lund.
What a name.
That guy, first of all, he's a fucking killer bass player. Second, he's the only one who kept going with music after the end, and he's a fucking country star.
Yeah.
Like a Canadian country star. It makes sense when you really get into the band, but it's like, what the fuck? with a name like Corb Lund, perfect for country. I
love that. This like kind of stumbles out of your mouth.
Yeah.
But it's like
Corb Lund. So they all met Grant McEwen Community College in Edmonton. Yeah, I guess they found a common ground between Black Sabbath, speed metal, and country, which is if you can all agree on that,
sure,
you have to make it, but you have to. It's just too fucking eclectic. It's too goofy. But they self-released pretty much most things. The first album they recorded.
It's amazing this stuff is on streaming. So
yeah, I'm wondering how. I'm assuming one of the band members is just paying for it, like out of pocket,
something. Yeah,
because it was self-released. They recorded it themselves. They released it themselves. It sounds like it. Eventually, they got the attention of what's his name, Cecil English, who he recorded No Means No and DOA, two other Canadian bands, but two other good Canadian bands.
Yes, sir.
I think they noted. I don't know if it's written on. I don't know if it's on here, but I remember reading that Cecil he produced. Is it Small Parts Isolated and Destroyed? I believe it is. Yes, Small Parts Isolated and Destroyed by No Means No, which is it was my favorite album by them. I didn't realize it came out in '88. I thought it was later than that. Crazy. That's a good fucking record. It is punk, but boy, does it not sound. It is punk with 9-minute songs. It's like it's basically prog punk. Yeah, we can call prog punk. So he did that. So I see that I'm like, oh shit. So he got they got his attention, and then they eventually got signed, and then they released another self-released one,
and then disappeared, and then came back.
They came back
in 2014.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh shit. We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
But that's basically it. There's not a lot of lore. There's not a lot of meat from the. I don't think there's any other interviews that we can even dig up.
Those are the highlights.
And that's good enough. So we gonna get started. All right, everybody. Like we said before, 4 albums total. First one came out in 1990. Last one 1999. So you ready?
I'm ready.
Hell yeah! This is 1990s, self-titled. Is that cranked?
I'm going to go one more. It's cranked all the way now.
Well, that's partly because this is recorded like shit.
I thought we were going to be listening to a punk band after this.
So did I. It certainly sets it up that way.
Yeah, it's a nice little punk song.
It is. It's very tight, very good drums.
But no punk singer would sing like that.
Sure wouldn't. Heard that, I'm like, oh, all right. They do sound like a bunch of kids, though.
Oh yeah, this is the most like home recorded album we're gonna cover, but by no means the worst low production I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's a good demo quality.
It's acceptable.
Yeah. It's rough, but it's, we've covered some truly horrific sounding albums on it. Oh, shit.
Oh, I guess the chord.
Oh, the chord is iffy. Okay. That sucks. All right. Yeah, so it's a neat little, fun little opener. Awful sounding album. I mean, it's not the worst produced thing we've covered, but it is rough and it does hurt it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, I was pretty lukewarm and middle of the road and not very excited and I wasn't dreading the next step. I was like, all right, that's fine. Obviously the biggest thing to note out the gate is the vocals.
Yeah.
Here they're annoying, but they're not that bad.
Yeah, I wasn't bothered by them. I think this this album is also the most like all over the place.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I thought we were getting like a punk album, and then like they do the Pretenders cover, and that sounds a little more garage rock.
Yeah, hate it, by the way. I my beef is obviously with Pretenders and not them. I just don't like the song Middle of the Road so much.
And then it's this like True Narcissist that's this like full on hard rock.
I mean, when it goes fast, it just feels metal as shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of metal on here. In fact, well, no, maybe an album later on it has more metal on it, but this one feels the most Frankenstein. Like,
yes,
we're going to combine metal and punk in this way. And you feel it the most on this one as opposed to the others.
I did note down the vocal choices on Ill Tide.
Oh boy. That was where I was like, okay, I think I don't like this guy. Man, I really don't like that song. The vocals hurt it more, but I wouldn't have liked it much anyway. It's heavy and angry, but it just felt kind of meh to me. But even though I wasn't like moved by any of this, I was like, it is surprisingly diverse for a bunch of kids who recorded this themselves.
There's potential here.
100%. Then you get stuff like Hay Shaker, which is more on the metal side, and then turns into fucking evil funk with this wild ass bass.
It did make me think of White Zombie a little bit.
Interesting. I liked it. I think it's very cool. And even, I mean, I don't even really have that much problem with the actual songs on here. It's mostly like how inaudible the drums are. They might as well not even be mic'd. It's crazy how buried they are, but which is a shame because everybody's really, really tight.
Yeah, I didn't really have any problems with this, but I didn't love it either. For me, it's exactly that. Like, these kids could be onto something maybe.
Yeah, it felt like they could definitely go somewhere, but at this point, you really never know. What is it called? Dandelina, which is a name of a song I'm having trouble saying for some reason.
Oh yeah.
It's just straight up thrash. That main riff is a complete and utter ripoff of Kill Again by Slayer. It is just the same fucking riff.
They do love Slayer. So.
They cited Slayer as one of the influences. That one. I mean, it's not even that bad of a song, but I think the vocals are really, really fucking just took me out of that one. But the rest of the album, I think, is pretty strong.
Yeah, I think some of the most like memorable playing for me happens towards the end with Two Pigs.
Two Pigs. Oh, you mean it's one of the bonus tracks.
I didn't realize that was a bonus.
So the final three tracks. This was reissued in 93. The final three tracks were produced by Cecil English, which is why you can actually hear the drums in those songs.
Yeah.
They sound a lot better. But that song is badass. It's fucking sleazy and sludgy. And it sounds, I mean, if you're comparing it to the actual album, it sounds like nothing on there. And then it gets really big and crazy. Fucking very cool. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. And then like Controlling Melody.
Oh, yeah.
Is this, it's kind of like there's some psychedelia in there, but then you get like also like kind of similar to Caius, but I'm gonna assume these boys never heard of Caius at this point.
Yeah, no chance. Wait, when did Caius come around? When was the first album? 92?
I think 93? They were like around the same time, so it's just like happy coincidence, I guess.
What was I going to say? The original closer is Tight Spots, which is live, and it makes perfect sense because of, I'm assuming, budgetary reasons. Live tracks are very easy to keep. But I mean, as a song, I think it's pretty solid. But so this is one of the many things about Caldwell's voice. So he does his Danzig thing every once in a while, and here I think maybe in the first two albums the most first three albums. Yeah. He really channels a lot of Lane Staley. And I don't think it's copying because this is like the same time as Alice in Chains.
This probably had more to do with the era than
and then the twanginess, because Lane Staley is a very twangy dude. I mean, isn't he from the South?
I don't know.
I forget where he's from, but he has a total twang on his voice. And it just makes sense that it would kind of, it would seem similar, but I felt a lot of Lane Staley in Tight Spots. Cool ass really metal sounding riffs. So it is weird because like, these are really, really metal riffs, but with the weakest, shittiest production. So it doesn't hit you the way normal metal does, or normal thrash does, or whatever. So it ends up being thrash with an extremely punk feel.
Yes,
with weird singy, waily vocals.
Very interesting listen.
Interesting stuff. But not too bad, not too great. We're interested though.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm on board. If this was Shark Tank, I'm interested in what you're selling. I may want to be a partner.
There we go. Next album, also self-released, except this is where they met up with Cecil and he recorded them, so it's going to sound a little different.
Nice.
So this is 1992's To Each a Zone.
Clean that down a little.
So you hear this directly after that one, and you're like, and at least I thought, oh, this sounds way better.
Yeah.
You give yourself a day, you come back to this one, it sounds like shit. This album also sounds bad.
It does. It does. I'm glad you said that because I thought I was gonna have to.
Oh no, it's incredible. Like, you see, I've heard Cecil English's records. They don't sound bad, but this doesn't sound great.
Probably this. Hey, here I go now.
He's just dancing. It's been long.
Man. But then he goes like high pitch.
He does. Yeah. He gets very high pitch.
Goddamn.
A lot of dope pedaling, though.
There we go. Yeah.
It wasn't very prominent on the last album, if it even was there at all. It's not a bad song.
No.
Yeah. It is a little goofy though.
Yes. I'm gonna give this one worse.
Worst, least favorite. This was. I thought it was gonna be tougher, and then I went back. I was like, oh yeah, this one is actually not that great.
Yeah, I ended up giving it worse because I feel like objectively, it's like the worst songwriting. Even if it's like heavy hard rock that I'm comfortable with, I think this is like their weakest writing.
100% their weakest writing, and doubles as the most annoying vocal performance by Caldwell.
Yeah,
this one was hard to get through on the second listen for me.
Yeah, I guess his vocals didn't bother me for whatever reason.
Dude, like, that's funny because, man, certain voices, like, so it's mostly his choices because he's like an actually good singer, especially later on. You hear he's got chops. He's really good. It's his actual tone that I don't love, but I could take it or leave it. It's his choices, and like we heard all over that one, it's just Danzig choices left and right. A lot of twanginess, a lot of country, a lot of bluesy stuff, and it's not. I can't even say it's bad. I don't like how they fit with the music. I don't like the actual melodies. I just don't like the choices.
You must have loved Nero Divla.
Wait, which one?
Track 10.
You know what? I did like it.
Interesting.
Well, first of all, it's the fastest thing on the album by miles.
It's pretty crazy.
It's actually because there's a lot of fast stuff on the first record. There's very little actual high speed parts on this album, except for that song. And even I found the vocals to actually be fairly interesting on that one.
I thought for sure you were gonna hate them.
I don't mind them because it's not even like I said, it's mostly the choices. If I hear like generic bluesy lines that I've heard 1,000 times, it just happens to be over something cool and aggressive, like most of these songs, then I'm bored. But if he does something that maybe sounds goofy and stupid, but it's interesting and different, and it fits in a unique way, then I'm on board.
There it goes. I will say another fast song is Horse Thief.
Right.
Kind of made me think of Queen's like Stone Cold Crazy.
Oh, interesting. It is. Yeah. I get it.
But while we're on the topic of vocals, let's move on over to Shuffler's song. They go full Diamond Dave with scatting.
Dude. And I love it.
Hell yeah. All these things.
Dude,
these things I thought you were, well, Not like thinking about when I was listening,
right,
finding out you didn't like. I was like, so you'll hate. No,
it's fucking crazy. It's interesting. Yeah. It's a super jazzy song. It's very unusual. It's like I found it to be one of the most interesting things, if not the most interesting thing on the album. And his scatting is hilarious, and I thought it stunk completely, like his whole performance. But it is endearing, and it's just fun. Yeah. So I kind of ended up just enjoying it. I really dig that almost tribal intro to "Lovers on the Rise" or "Lovers of the Rise."
Dude, that clicky percussion instrument they use.
Oh yeah, it's like a wood block or something. It's a little overbearing. It's way too loud in the mix.
Yeah, very interesting choice though. I really enjoy Filling a Warehouse. It does not reinvent any wheels, and it's not really anything unique. It's just a fucking ripper that works for me.
Fair enough. I kind of feel the same about it. I don't love it, but I'm fine with it. I think without the vocals, I'd probably like it a lot. But it's still cool. It still has a lot of energy to it. It's one of the faster tracks. But there is. What else before I start shitting on it? So there's stuff that I started out thinking I was going to hate, and then eventually it won me over, like Deadeye, which that opening riff is basically just a Day Tripper knockoff. But by the end of it, I couldn't help appreciate how spastic the whole song is. It's part thrash, part of it is like a Roy Orbison style rock and roll. It's just unusual.
They always got to throw something weird.
Something weird that not a lot of people fuck with. Yeah. Especially not in this world.
Yes.
Like you don't hear a whole lot of Orbison style shit in thrash.
No, not at all.
So it's fun. I can't diss it, or I can't like not give it up. But the stuff that I don't like is pretty rough, such as Only Thing Going. Boy, oh boy, do I not like it. I don't mind the final minute of it where it kind of speeds up, but it just sounds like shitty Alice in Chains to me.
You know what? These guys, I think, are really good at writing outros.
Oh, they do tend to. The songs are like with any band that I end up loving, the songs never go where you think they're going to go.
No, because I was going to say some songs can start off boring and bad, but I usually, even if it's a bad song or I feel like it's still, I usually like the way it ends.
Yeah, I've had a lot of that where I'll be very, I don't know, cynical on first listen. I'm like, and then I was like, all right, well, that was interesting. And by the end of it, and then I'll go back for another listen. I'm like, okay, this is actually good the whole way through. I just like, I had to have the whole knowledge of what it does in my subconscious before. Yeah, it happened to me a lot with this band. BB on the Beat is another really rough hard rock. There's a lot of hard rock on this album, like straightforward, sleazy bar hard rock. And I couldn't take that one. There's a lot of samples in that one, which is like the most interesting thing about it. But boy, Caldwell pissed me off on that song. Yeah, I think the latter half is definitely a lot better, but it's very inconsistent.
Yeah, I think the first album has like, I'm willing to cut it some slack. This is new to me. They're new.
Yeah.
And then to just have like the like, obviously it sounds better than the last album, but it still sounds bad and kind of some stale songwriting. It's just like, okay. And then listening to the other two albums, I was like, all right, this is,
things change.
For me, the album went down fine. It's just objectively, I think this is the worst.
Yeah, this one didn't. We're like we said, we're the first album. Like, okay, this can go kind of anywhere. I wonder where it goes. This was like, oh fuck,
it hit a wall.
Yeah, it didn't have the jump forward that I was expecting. Because usually, even with Shiner, who we just covered, you hear like the first album and like, oh, this can go somewhere. And then the second album, you hear this leap in like, and all of a sudden they have a different style and they're kind of coming together. This was not that. This is just like, it feels like the kind of, I don't know, slowly walked instead of ran to the next step.
And that's why they have the term sophomore slump.
Oh, yeah. So. I've learned to not believe that term after all the albums that we've covered.
Well, that's why it's this term.
Yeah, but I mean, like the fact that it became a term, like, why is that? We've covered hundreds of albums on this podcast, and I feel like very few actually fit the bill of a sophomore slump, or very few of those bands.
I'd have to like
dig through all the.
Okay. I used to listen to this hip hop group called the Visionaries. They called their second album Sophomore Slump. I thought that was very
leaning into it.
Yeah, just embrace it.
Was it good?
I remember it being pretty good. Visionaries aren't like
Visionaries.
They're like when I was getting into that like conscious underground hip hop, they were very cool.
Okay.
Now that I like weirder things, they have some good songs, but it's been a while.
Gotcha. Yeah, rough, but not the worst thing ever. Although it is disappointing that it doesn't sound at least a little better. And maybe I'm not remembering all this guy's other records. Maybe they do sound this kind of rough.
I'm not familiar with him, so
I remember them sounding good. I could have sworn they sounded a lot better than this. I'm pretty sure they do.
Yeah.
But anyway, my worst least favorite, Alex's worst, and it's time to move on. Their only signed record.
Yes, sir.
Their only actual officially released album. But you ready?
I'm ready.
Hell yeah. This is 1995's Waste and Tragedy.
What? Whoa. Hold on. I walk into an ISIS concert?
Hell yeah, dude.
Song this fucking rules.
Yep. And the vocals sound pretty fucking cool.
It's kind of like ISIS and Primus had a baby.
Oh yeah, I think there's a little bit more thrash into it. Like,
oh, for sure.
Yeah, but you're right.
Yeah. Who does this?
It's very cool. It's such a super Metallica transition right there.
It is, yeah.
Damn, the song rules.
Yeah, it does.
Hell yeah.
Best personal favorite.
Yeah, this is
pretty cut and dry here. I will be revisiting this album.
Yeah, this is a good fucking album.
Hell yeah.
First listen, I was like, oh, this is... I know this is going to be best. And then the second listen, I was like, this is even better than the first time I heard it. Yeah. It is weird. There's a lot like that it was kooky and it was complicated, but it wasn't like weird. There was some weird shit on here, dude.
Like complex shit to play.
Complex and then goofy and strange. There's like it's all over the place. Hello is a song that I didn't really appreciate until my second listen, where now I fucking love it. But it's like it's funky and noisy. And then not just, well, we heard a little bit on this opener, but on that song too, Caldwell is reined it way back in. He's being way more calculated with his choices. I don't love everything he does. I still don't really like him as a singer on this album, but some of the stuff that is just so batshit that he does that even if I don't like enjoy it, I can't help but appreciate it. Got to give it up, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to jump right into it. The number one moment of that.
What was that?
Take It From a Rye Man.
Oh, dude.
His vocals on that song aren't fucking bananas, dude.
Dude, they go like...
Oh my God, that song is insane.
They go full Latin rock in that song.
Yes. It's like, starts out as motorcycle music and then goes... Oh, it's just so fucking bizarre. It goes everywhere.
These guys from fucking Alberta will go like Latin rock, and it's fucking delightful.
It's delightful. That song, it just keeps doing so many awesome things that I just like, fuck it. I'm accepting his ridiculous vocals on the song because it's just so crazy.
On board with it. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Fades Away.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like they do creepy and sinister really well. It's not like unknown territory for them, but it's something they kind of only give you in bits and pieces.
They do a lot of things in bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And the other one is the country stuff. The first sign we get is Pity the Man with the Fast Right Hand. Oh, hello, or Hello Baby, dude.
Yeah.
My God.
You get some like bluesy country stuff in there, but it's still heavy. It's still fast.
Yep. It's like novel. It's a novelty of like country punk metal. And it doesn't sound like cheesy or tacky. It does feel like they just made this new thing.
Yeah.
And they don't really revisit it that often, only a few times.
No. These guys are like on to the next thing very fast.
The most Alice in Chainsy thing that I got from this whole album is definitely the vocals on MTV.
Yep.
But goddamn, that song.
That song is like what I think the second album, like in an ideal world, should be.
I see.
Yeah.
What it does and what it kind of showcases a lot on this album is how much noisier the guitars have gotten. For one, it's the first album that has good sounding guitars. They actually feel powerful. Everything feels powerful, but it's the first time you can actually hear.
Sounds great. Yeah,
it sounds awesome. But really ringy, noise rocky guitars with a lot of dissonant notes, a lot of really cool, interesting rhythmic stuff. The dude's a really good guitar player. That song is really fucking cool. What else?
The title track. There's like this slow part with horns over it, and it's just like continuing the trend of them taking these like wild chances and paying off.
That's the closer. That's the other country western song. Man, it's so fucking cool. It's so pretty, and I mean, it really is country metal.
Yeah. And not in like a gimmicky sort of way.
Yeah, it's not gimmicky. It feels like it all feels very organic. This whole album feels organic, even when it's fucking wacky.
Also for, a small band like this to do an album like start to finish that holds my attention, and I don't really have too many gripes with this album. Really fucking impressive. Yeah,
I still have some problems with it, and it's not even like big problems. It's just only two tracks I'm not too big on, and those are maybe The Prophet Scared You and having the water brash. They just seem like flyover songs. There's like nothing that stands out too much about them, except for maybe That Prophet Scared You does have the most ridiculous vocals in the chorus. Those are pretty rough. And then when I keep going back to my main issue of his choices, not so much his voice. Easter is a good song for that, where I like the song a lot despite him, not because of him.
I think that song worked for me where again, I don't feel like that song like does anything special, but it's like one of the most sludgy things they've done. So felt it in my soul.
Oh, and then especially that last minute. Ooh, goddamn.
Again, they know how to close out songs.
They do. They do. Like,
a lot of people have mastered the art of opening songs, but these men have mastered the art of.
It's a less appreciated art because you got to sit through it.
But we appreciate it here at every album ever.
Hell yeah. This one, it was, first listen, I liked it. Second listen, I liked it even more. And it's obviously the best. And it's weird because if looking at the whole discography from afar, this is really one of the odder ones. Like no other album sounds like this one. And it seems like I'm glad they did something else. I'm glad the next album is what it is. Yeah. But it is unusual that they didn't lean into this more with this big, heavy sound with these really aggressive, spastic songs.
Yeah, I guess when you kind of have like a small cult following, it can be you kind of are in your own little bubble, and you're making up your own rules, and there's maybe less feedback. So
yeah, and also I'm assuming just less opportunity because there is a huge gap between this album and the next one. I imagine all kinds of shit happened, but I wonder what. Around this time, this is around time the article that we have. This is when it was published in 95. They apparently sold more than 10,000 units of the first two albums, which is like that's not too bad
for them. Yeah, that's
literally coming from fucking middle of nowhere. Not bad. They hired Joel Van Dyke to produce this record. Caldwell said we liked our last one with Cecil English, but we thought that we wanted a bit more of a heavy metal sort of sound instead of a punk sound this time. We just went around to some studios, and Van Dyke was recommended to us by some people. He did a really good job, actually. It sounds nice and chunky, and it does. So they recorded one of these tracks in Berlin and 10 others at Vancouver's Greenhouse Studio. It doesn't say which song it was that they recorded in Berlin.
It's not.
But it sounds good. Sounds great. It's a great album. Best fucking writing for sure.
Hands down.
Oh shit. Joel Van Dyke, the guy who produced this one.
Mm-hmm.
He produced Fear Factory's first album and Annihilator? The thrash band Annihilator?
I don't know. I don't fucking
You know what? Holy shit. Yep.
There it is. To Annihilator.
Annihilator is a really shitty thrash band. I listened to their first album, Alice in Hell, quite a bit. And the most fresh, you ever heard about Annihilator?
No.
So the album Alice in Hell, well, you know what the title track is called?
Is probably what is it?
Alice in Hell.
These guys.
Oh, dude. I used to like a couple songs of that album quite a bit. I went back, I think, I don't know, like a decade later, and it was just hilarious. I couldn't sit through it. There was a lot of thrash that I used to really like that I can't listen to anymore.
Man, they were on Roadrunner, those.
Yeah. There's a time where they were picking up every thrash band.
Roadrunner, this had every metal band.
Yeah.
Probably still do.
Probably. But yeah. Both of our best and personal favorites. You should check it out. It's a wild ride and it's fucking crazy. It's fun. Very fun. But we got one more, baby. We got one more. So you ready?
Ready.
The final album, once again, self-released. Shit, where's my mouse? I lost my mouse. There it is. 1999's My Dear Little Angel.
Well, still sounds good.
Still does sound good. Not quite as good, but still good. Very punchy bass.
You know who would kill this song if it was a down song?
Oh shit! And Selma doing this?
I think it's more gruff vocals.
I think it would sound a lot better. I actually hate his vocals on this song so much, which is not how I feel about the whole album, or not how I feel about his vocals in the whole album. So hard rock. All right, now it's moving along. God, the album art for this fucking album is incredible.
Pretty unique stuff.
It's absolutely awesome.
Or I should say unique for like a hard rock metal band to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, all the artwork inside the booklet stuff, it's just all so fucking good.
Going ham on that bass.
Oh, the bass, I didn't give the fucking proper props to Corb.
Yeah.
He's so good on the last album.
Yeah.
And then on this album too. All right.
This is my least favorite.
I don't know how. I mean, I do know how, but this was so close to being personal favorite. This is a fascinating album.
I was kind of bored throughout it.
It's so wild though. It's more wild than the last one. It is the least predictable album. I mean, holy shit, this is so not what anybody could have expected.
There's some stuff towards the end I like, but maybe like the first half or maybe like 75% of the album, I'm just like, I don't feel engaged, but I know it's not bad writing, so that's why.
Right. The reason I couldn't give it anything else is because the writing is objectively weaker. It is a noticeable step down from the last one, but the styles, the things that they do is just so unpredictable.
Also, real quick, while it's fresh in everyone's minds, I know that opening song is not a bad song because the secret track, I believe, is a sped up.
It is a sped up. This one of the 2 secret tracks.
Oh, there's 2 on that.
There's it's like this instrumental bass heavy thing. It's only like a minute long. It's pretty cool.
Let me tell you, sped up Super Nintendo sounding chipmunk version.
Vocals.
I love that so much.
You know what? I actually don't. It's stupid and I think it's annoying, but I kind of almost prefer it.
That song was meant to be played fast.
If there were not chipmunk vocals on it, I would like it more than the
chipmunk. I mean,
it's just stupid.
Kind of, but like, yeah, sped up. That song fucking rips.
There's only 2 songs I don't care for, and they're right at the beginning, which is "Murdering Me" and "Domination." I'm not big on either of those.
Damnation was like Tool.
Domination.
That was like Tool light.
Dude, Caldwell is just doing a knockoff Maynard on that song.
There you go.
It is insane.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. He does the Lance Staley, he does the Danzig, he does some Maynard, he does
all your favorite 90s singers. He can do them all.
He can do them all, baby. So there are moments where I don't like him, but overall, I think this is my favorite Caldwell album. I think he's the best on here. He's the most, not interesting. What's the word? He does the most against the grain types of melodies here, where in the past few, less so on the last album, but definitely in the first 2, he does a lot of really predictable bluesy stuff and a lot of like twangy country western little, I don't know, just tropes almost of those genres. Here, it is anyone's fucking game. Every song is so wildly different that he kind of, I guess he probably felt like he had to do something really different.
Yeah.
And it sounds, I think sounds pretty badass. The first thing of note on the whole album is "My Saddle Horse Has Died."
Of course, that is a galloping Western song, and it's pretty rad. It's
pretty rad, especially that intro. It's like an acoustic intro, but the writing of it is so fascinating. It's like it reminds you of stuff, but I can't fucking put my finger on it. It's Western, but it doesn't feel like a Western song in the writing. The way it's played, sure, but yeah, it's a very well written song.
I think a good example of something where I'm like, you guys went out, you did something different. I give you an A for effort, but if this doesn't work for me, is chords.
Chords like this.
That's
I knew it.
Pretty much them doing a ska song.
It's really weird. I didn't like it. I did not like it. I was not on board. I thought it was annoying. Won me over, goddammit. It fucking won me over. There's too many really unexpected, unusual chord changes.
Yeah.
Where I appreciate it.
Like I said, A for effort.
It is a wild song. The first, my first listen was again more harsh than my second listen, but on my first listen, the first song to actually grab me, and I'm like, finally, was VCR.
Really, that one did it for you.
That one, finally, I was missing the country stuff. I was actually missing the country shit, and I was hoping for more of it on the album, but. Even if you take away the country aspect of it, it is definitely a very well done, especially well arranged song.
For me, my ears started perking up, or I felt more engaged once like Alvarez comes on.
Alvarez is rad. It's
a nice, dreamy ballad.
Yeah.
And then I didn't look at what the song was after that. I was just like, I don't think following up a ballad with another ballad is a good idea. Then I heard it was a cover.
Make me feel like a natural.
It's pretty funny.
It's fucking great. Yeah. It's a straight cover of Natural Woman by Aretha Franklin.
But this having like 4 dudes do it is funny.
Having 4 dudes sing "You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman" is already funny.
Sincerely too.
Since they play it well, and it's a straight cover, but it's already using different instruments, sort of. It's using rock instruments instead of I don't know, soul instruments. Same instruments, I guess, but just played differently.
Different effects, different sound.
Yeah. So, and it's like I don't know what it reminds me of. It endears me the same way that Mr. Bungle covering
Easy Like Sunday.
No. That Faith No More covers them.
Okay.
It's what is it called? What the world needs now.
Okay.
And there's a 99 Mr. Bungle performance where they open it with What the World Needs Now. And it's like, it's a straight cover, but it sounds incredible. And it's a band that you like is playing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, fuck, it's fun. That's a super fun thing. That's how I feel about this, about
Same
Natural
category.
Woman. I'm glad it's on there. It's stupid, it's silly, and it's fun, and it's well done.
Pin fucking rips.
Pin does rip. It's weird.
Yeah, start to finish. Tell us about it. I love the way they worked in banjos and slide guitar on there.
Yeah, tell us about, dude.
I did not also this for like, because I feel like I kind of had to take a second. Like I was not expecting to hear slide guitars and banjos on that. Like if you told me that first album would end up,
No chance.
yeah,
No way you would.
Never thought we'd end up here.
And the banjos, again, they don't feel like a gimmick. It sounds awesome.
Yes.
That whole fucking song is so fantastic. And it's like, it really does feel more like a Southern hard rock song, just straight through. But it's, I don't know, it's very nicely done. Definitely one of the weirder things on here is What I Need to Carry On.
Love it.
Love it too. It is. I mean, there's a lot of things you enjoy here for being your least favorite album.
I know, but I feel like it's like 3, maybe 4 songs.
All right, fair enough. That song is very, again, unlike anything they've ever done. It's so unusual.
I'm just trying to be honest here about the I can just pluck out
Fair enough. Yeah.
these 3 or 4 songs, but yeah, I just think it's like that first 2/3 was rough.
Sorry. So you mean to tell me there's nothing about Legba's Cucks that you didn't like or that you liked?
240. Once again, these guys.
I have 235, but yours is more accurate.
Yeah.
I just guessed that we're on the time.
We both time stamped it.
Might as well.
That means it's going on. These guys should just go full Latin rock. I think
they do it so well.
By the way, the first half of the song does not sound like this. I don't like, and that's the thing, I don't like the first half.
I don't love it. I think it's fine, but this
part is sealed it for me.
Cool.
Oh, it's so good. I want to hear this through because the guitar lines on this part are just so well done.
You know what? I'm just gonna flip flop and take back my least favorite and put it on.
Are you serious?
Yeah, whatever.
Mid song.
You were converted mid song. It's too good.
Wow. Yeah. It wasn't. Yeah, there was a build up there, but yeah, I don't know. This is very, very uneven, but
it's uneven. But it's too, it's too unpredictable to get boring for me.
I think also my initial feeling before talking to you was like that second album is not good, but it kind of went down easier. I don't hate it, but this one had like stuff I hate, but then talking to a real life person about, I'm like, never mind. I can't deny it.
It's just so creative. It's just so, when something is this fucking bold to like, we're putting it out ourselves. We're going to do whatever we want.
Yes.
It's just refreshing and invigorating to me. Again, like there's still choices on here that I think are wonky and strange, but man, it makes me happy that someone tried it. The closer is Right On Through.
Very jazzy, very loungy.
Exactly. It has goddamn muted trumpets on it. You want to make me fall in love? You play me some noir ass muted trumpets.
I've got a weird band or a small band. I don't know what happened to them, but if you're like Mike and you like muted trumpets, with some like rock music. There's this tiny band called The Drift.
The Drift.
I'm gonna text you one of their albums, and anyone listening with the like muted trumpets and like relaxing rock music, check out The Drift. I don't know what they're up to these days, but
all right, okay,
yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's I find it very soothing. It's good rain music.
Yes. And I'm assuming if you're here for the Smalls, you're already open to the idea of listening to
some strange shit, some different shit,
smaller bands. So,
pun intended.
All the tiny small puns intended.
This is a bizarre album, and like at first, like again on first listen, I was like disappointed that it didn't lean into what the last album was and how cool that was. But by the end, I was like, this is just. Who does this? It's so fucking fun.
Who does anything, this band? They're just like so crazy. And then like, also I think it's on their Wikipedia page, like they were able to play like Indian reservation in Canada, I think.
Oh shit, really?
And they were just like, that was so fucking cool being able to like have this connection with the community that like through music too.
God damn. They seem like a bunch of nice guys.
They're from Canada. They should be fucking nice
fair
guys.
Enough. Yeah, that's right. So let's see.
I love the reasons for breaking up Terry Johnson specifically. Mike will do his thing and read the whole thing, but I love the term. Oh, sorry, I misread. Never mind. Scratch that. Never mind. I misread mutual decision as mutual depression.
Been there.
So I'm going to trademark mutual depression.
Mutual depression. That's a good band name.
Yeah, it is.
So this album was produced by Glenn Robinson, and apparently it is not the same Glenn Robinson as the guy who produced Voivod and Guar. Our boy Tom says that he can't verify it's the same one, and he doesn't think it is. Imagine if it was though.
Probably not. Yeah,
probably not.
Imagine it was this. What was that guy who worked on all the new like Terry Date?
Oh, Terry Date.
Or no, Ross Robinson.
Okay, Terry Date's Pantera.
Yeah. No, imagine it was this Ross Robinson though.
Wait, what did he work on?
He did like all the new metals.
Oh, a real genius.
And then so. Oh, I hope that guy's living comfortably.
I hope so. He brought a fucking plague upon the earth. So they broke up, and Terry Johnson goes into a little bit of why, and it makes a lot of sense. It makes too much sense, and it's sad, but whatever. He says really what it came down to was that it was a mutual decision, not a mutual depression. We kind of hit a ceiling as far as touring in Canada. A couple of the band members were talking about it, that maybe they can move to the States. We were talking about maybe moving to Austin, and a couple of us wanted to go, and a couple of us didn't. So we were going back and forth in the idea. In the end, we decided the two of us that didn't want to go, that was the final answer. So obviously the band wasn't going to go on without two of the original members. So we decided to move. We decided the next move was to plan a farewell tour, and that was that. A lot of people would just replace the members and move on.
Again, that's the most Canadian thing I've ever heard.
I guess we're amazing. Done. Well, all right.
Well, half the band doesn't want it. I guess we're done.
It's fair. Especially if everybody's contributing equally, which we don't know who wrote what. Yeah. I'm assuming it was all a very collaborative thing. Mm-hmm. So that does make a lot of sense. It would not be the same band afterward. And also it kind of goes back to what we were saying at the very beginning. Terry goes on to say, it just wasn't the move, but that was probably the catalyst to it. We weren't getting a record deal. We weren't getting any bigger. And it was a question of, were we willing to keep doing it at this level for longer, living in the van as we were, starving, or do something else? There were no hard feelings about it. It was sad, but it was amicable. That particular paragraph is such a real thing where progress is, maybe it's being made, but it's not enough, and we're tired. And I don't know, do you keep going? I know
some inside baseball. Me and Mike have talked about being tired, but
we keep chugling, dude.
The numbers to keep chugling seem, well, they're better than when we were started. So.
They're better than when we started. That is really all it is.
That's all I'm going to tell you guys. You don't need to know the rest.
Yes. It was some dark days in the beginning for sure. Oh God. But Yeah, I get it. So, oh, and now Corb Lund goes on to make country music by himself. Pretty handsome guy wearing his denim, his finest denim and cowboy hat.
Yep. And then, they reunited in May 2014, and they would play some a big music festival called X Fest with, you got Jack White, Arctic Monkeys, Death Cab for Cutie, yada, yada, yada. So, Canada appreciates their own.
It's basically only Canada that appreciates these guys. Yeah,
and now maybe a handful of people in the U.S.
Yeah. They're fun. They deserve something, man. Jesus Christ. They've done a lot of weird shit. They've done a lot of really. I don't even know. It's like you again. What I was saying in the beginning, like you feel like you know what to compare them to, but then when you think or when you listen to it, like I don't fucking know. They don't really sound like anybody.
Yeah. So these guys always made an effort to do something different, even if it didn't always land. And that's more than a lot of bands can say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah, that was beautiful. All right. So thank you so much for listening and watching. Hell yes. Let's do a little recap.
Okay. Well, I think
are we doing simpatico again?
Yeah.
Dude, this is getting weird.
This is getting real. We've hung out too much.
If it wasn't for Shiner, we'd have 5 in a row.
It's uncanny.
5 out of the past 6 we've lined up exactly. That is pretty fucking wild.
I think we got a few beefier discographies on the horizon. There's no way this trend continues.
No way. There was a lot of big ones coming.
Yeah.
But both of our worst and least favorite is To Each a Zone.
Yep.
It is, what we said. It's a little rougher. It didn't make as big of a leap as expected. Production is a little rougher. The writing is also the least memorable. And then best and personal favorite, Waste and Tragedy. It is a wild ride.
Truly an interesting record. If you're a fan of hard rock, seek it out.
Hard rock, jazz, punk, metal, fucking country. At the very least, listen to the country tracks. They're fucking, it's very well done. But yeah, thank you so much, Mitchell, for suggesting this and hanging out with us and sticking with us for this whole time. I know it's been a long time coming, but we fucking did it. We did it as soon as we could with the world and what it is. And I guess that's all that's left is to do a little bitty plugs.
Yep. All the plugs.
So yeah, thanks so much for listening and watching. Like the video if you like it. Hang out in the comments, talk some shit to us. Leave your picks for best and worst if you want to play along, or if you have any anecdotes about the band, if you're a fan, or if you're brand new.
Personally know them for some reason.
That is also possible. That happens from time to time.
It's horrifying when it happens, but
oh God, it's I've really made too many mistakes being too honest in my life, especially within the past year. And I am going to suffer for it pretty bad one of these days. I don't know. I should start lying more. But there's also a small playlist on Spotify. You can find a link to that in the description. Got playlists associated with basically every episode. And you can find those at everyalbumever.com. Follow me on all social media at PanderMonkey and Alex on Instagram at
Every Album Alex.
Hell yeah. Don't forget our history guy, Tom Osman, who does all kinds of research for us, so we don't have to. You can find him on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Tom Osman Sounds, as well as his Substack, tomosman.substack.com. And be sure to check out his debut album, So Much for All in Day's Work. And you can find a link to that in the description. My debut EP, Pander Monkey, is also out and on all the platforms. And there's a link to that in the description as well. Lastly but not leastly, patreon.com/everyalbumever. That is where you go if you want us to cover the bands you like or hate. Bonus episodes, you get to see our schedule in advance. You vote on polls to decide who we're covering next. The next big episode we're doing, aside from our year end, is going to be our poll, one of our poll winners. You get to join our Discord, be part of our community, as well as suggest our EAE singles episodes. We picked them all out from Discord. And if you're tier 2, bigger than G is just like Mitchell, you can suggest a full discography for us to cover on the pod, and it will be a good, fun time. Hell yeah. Oh,
we did it.
We did it. Now, what we gonna close it with?
I think it has one of two songs. I think it's got to be either Take It From a Rye Man or Waste and Tragedy.
Oh, that is tough.
It's hard.
That is very. I don't know, because the title track is like the
title track.
I think it's title track. Yeah. All right. Hell yeah.
It's more sincere.
I think so.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening and watching. See ya.